Hi, I'm Sifu Brian Joel. Welcome back. Last time we were talking about the Pak-Tan Pak drill. We're going to get into a little bit more of that today. We're also going to get heavily into footwork today. So we're going to start with the Pak drill. The way to train that is from Yeung Kim Young Ma, knees bent, toes out, lift up on the heels. Don't forget, you should be feeling all the weight on your legs. This is to build your legs. For the hand position, the Wu Sao is in the back, that's the rear hand. The Man Sao is the front. Whatever the Man Sao can intercept, the Wu Sao must. For Pak San, we can train that just from here. 1, 2, 3. Remember, it's diagonal. You're aiming for your opponent's elbows. You're not going straight out or straight to the side. We can also train this, train the Ma. We have what's called hanging horse. Open the Ma. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice how my feet are closing and opening. Going to Yeung Kim Ma and opening. We can also do that with a Pak Tan. Pak Tan, Pak Tan. I'm doing this slow so you can see the footwork. The footwork I'm doing now is also very similar to a drill that we do in Tai Chi. I'm going to demonstrate that just so you can see it real quick. In Tai Chi, we'll start here. Feet will close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open. And that's just to give you an idea how the footwork can be similar in different arts. Notice in Wing Chun also, when I turn, I'm turning on the heel. I'm not pivoting on the balls of my foot. We do that in other styles, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a moment. But for Wing Chun, it's on the heel. When I turn on my heels, I notice when my feet are flat, I feel balanced, I feel grounded. I like this better than some other styles that I've done, although there's room for that too, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So Adrian, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
From this position, which hand is closer to you? Just tell me which hand is closer to you.
Your left hand?
My left hand is closer, that's this hand, correct?
Yes.
Now, which hand do you think has the greatest distance, can go through your body, like not reach you the fastest, but go, not only reach you, but go past where you are?
Your right hand.
Why? You're correct, tell me why.
Because with the hand in front, you don't really have much to step off of with your foot, but you can,
That's half right. That part of that's correct. Stand where you are. So in a lot of arts, a lot of people, even people that have taught me, might disagree with this. But from here, from this position, from here, if this is the closest I can reach, from this stationary position, I can only do this. Now, without moving my foot forward, however, if I pivot off the balls of my, you'll see a lot of boxers do this. If I pivot off the back of my toes, if I pivot off the balls of my foot, I can do this, but put the hips into it and pivot, I can go through. So when I pivot, so go ahead and stay there for a second. So from here, I'll demonstrate on the wooden dummy. I'm here. When I pivot off the back of my foot and put the hips into it, I have more distance. I can go a greater distance from the back hand. The front hand is quicker, it's going to be there faster. This one, my back hand will be my power hand, and it can go through. Okay, so I know today I'm going to be throwing a lot at you. We're going to get more into footwork in a minute, but before that we're going to talk about ranges. In ranges, that's the distance between you and your opponent. Generally you have long range, medium range, and short range. You can step into frame for a second. Now long range is when you're far from your opponent, and the only weapons you really have are kicks, because your hands aren't going to reach, your legs are going to reach before your hands will. You're kind of at a distance circling each other like two animals getting ready to fight, or you're far enough away there's not going to be a confrontation. Mid-range, throw a punch. This is mid-range, our elbows are throw another punch. Our forearms are connecting, but we're not real close. Close range, throw another punch. Is if I'm in close, notice the elbow to the face. This is when you're in close, you're right up on the body. Those are the three ranges. Okay, next, we're going to get a little bit more into the footwork and pivot. It's not pure Wing Chun necessarily, but it does come from Kung Fu and even boxing, what I was demonstrating earlier. As you see, this is Yeung Kim Young Ma. This is also from Wing Chun, unless we lift up the back foot. Some styles lift up the back foot. The way I was taught a long time ago, so lift up the back foot and be sitting on the back foot. The reason the weight's on the back foot is so you can spring. So you're here, and you can spring off the back foot. Now, and then also pivoting off the back foot, like I was doing earlier, we can pivot. The theory behind that would be that the foot is pushing the power up from the floor. That's one theory. A few years ago, I came across another theory. Stand up for me a second. From here, even with the feet flat, if you were to throw a punch, is that the foot comes up as I connect. I'm actually moving the hips. The hips move the hand in some Wing Chun, in some Tai Chi theory. It's the hips that lead the body. So through the punch, my hips lead, but this is how my feet end up at the very end. And then I can follow up. Thank you. Last thing we're going to cover today is some drills on the Wing Chun dummy. And again, we're going to cover things such as distance using the Wing Chun dummy and footwork. All of that's involved in combat, fighting, martial arts. So earlier, before we did in the previous video, we did the Pak Tan Pak drill. From this stance, Pak Tan Pak. The footwork doesn't change, I simply step closer, Pak Tan Pak. There's another way to do it. From here, it's very similar to what's called, I'm going to demonstrate first, Sik Ma. Step to the side and come in. That brings you in. I'm going to demonstrate that again off the other side. I'm going to step to the side. Notice when I step to the side, I step a little bit forward so that I can come in. That's going to close the distance. So from here, demonstrating that again. From Yiji Kamina Ma, step to the side, step in. One more time. And I'm stepping in. From the other side, and I'm stepping in. You can think of a triangle as the floor. Here's the tip of the triangle from the dummy, triangle from me, stepping off the triangle, stepping in. So from here, Pak Tan Pak, or I can turn in, Pak Tan, and step in. Pak. I can also, that's from mid-range, Pak Tan Pak, I'm closing the distance. I can also get closer, Pak Tan Pak, elbow. So again, or where the foot stays the same. Going on this side of the dummy, I generally aim higher. The reason is simply, this is where the hands are. This hand, this arm, is lower than this arm. So when I come in on this side, do that a little bit faster. It's easier for me to come up. On this side, see how I have to raise my body up? It's more comfortable for me to come to the body. So going on this side, down. On this side, I come up. Although I can do both on either side, it's simply a matter of what's comfortable. When working with a person, because his arms are even, throw a punch. I can come down, throw a punch, or I can come up. Same with the other side. Down, up. One last thing I like to practice. In Wing Chun, a very long time ago, the tradition said not to kick higher than the waist. And this is very practical and very true, but when in practice, you want flexibility, and you want to be able to kick just so to maintain health. So when I practice kicks, sometimes I'll aim high. Generally, kicks come about here, but if you can go high, practice it. Keep your flexibility. That's all for today.